Hello everyone, welcome to an episode 74 for June 15th, 2022. This is new to Weeaboo. I am Nemesis, and I am joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yeah, it is still June, which means it is still Pride Month. It is all that stuff that entails, including corporations trying to hijack it, people coming out of the woodwork to denounce it, etc., all that crap.
Yep. The annual. Yeah.
Trying to think of major anime news. There's a kind of a sad one, which is let's see, the English voice actor he was
it Gallo?
Gallo, I think, in Promare, Billy Kametz. He just recently died.
It was on Thursday.
Yeah, I believe it was colon cancer or something. Yeah. And yeah, beyond that, I don't think there's been any.
I think it's been relatively quiet the past couple weeks.
I think there's been a couple just minor announcements for the next season stuff, but nothing huge. I was thinking the only one I remember was they really finalized the air premiere date for season 2 of Love Live Superstar. I think it was July 12th. I want to say.
Studio Shaft sets up new production house.
Oh, that weird one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other one, of course. Kyoto Animation announced Sound Euphonium's getting a third season and an OVA. That was the big one. That was a while ago. It was a week ago, so I completely forgot because what was going on.
Yeah.
That's a big one for reasons. Definitely.
We're gonna have to watch that one, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to be watching.
I'm going to have to watch that one. You've already watched it.
Yeah,
it's the first 2 seasons at least.
Yeah. So that's the thing that's happening. Kyoto Animation's finally doing it because I remember I think they announced third season a long time ago, and then crap happened to them.
Yep.
And they got kind of delayed, and now they've re-announced it. So okay, it's a thing happening. We'll see how that goes. I guess in a couple years. It's gonna be a bit. Personally, not much. I didn't get the Lego Optimus Prime. That's pretty neat. That was fun to build and everything.
I got more toys.
Yeah. I've been getting more toys, but that's nothing new for me.
You're always getting new toys.
Yeah. I mean, I have one right here in my hand right now.
Yep. I got anime figures.
Hear that?
Ratcheting.
Yeah, ratchet joint. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to what we're actually talking about this episode, which is YuruYuri. Yeah, it technically belongs in the Pride Month thing we do every year. It's weird. I've seen people claim it's not a real Yuri because no one actually gets together and it's like, you're stupid. Shut up. They're clearly gay. It's obviously 10 seconds.
Yes.
But yeah, I've seen people claim it's not actually Yuri because no one actually gets together or something. It's like, you have really weird standards, don't you? People don't stop being gay just because they don't have a partner,
But didn't you know that's how it works? That's why bi people don't exist, right? Yeah.
But anyway, YuruYuri, came out actually a little over 10 years ago. The anime did. It's based on a manga, which is actually still going now, and it has been. It's a gag manga, so it's basically just little short, goofy stories. That's its whole thing. So there's not a whole lot of overarching stuff with this one, unlike say some of the other stuff we usually talk about. So this is going to be a little bit, I think, different of a conversation than usual, just because of that. It's going to be very heavily focused on characters, not plot, because there really isn't much on that front. Yeah, it first aired because there's multiple seasons, 3 seasons, several OVAs, including a 10th anniversary OVA thing. First aired in 2011. But yeah, the manga itself started in 2008. And that's why they had the 10th anniversary celebration OVA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's mostly around 4 middle school girls, I guess 8 if you want to count the other ones. But yeah, 4 to 8, depending on how you want to count the protagonist numbers there.
Group A and Group B for each.
Yeah, because you got middle schoolers who go to Nanamori Middle School, which is funny in itself because drawn by Namori. Her name's all over the place on batteries and the school and all sorts of stuff. Just sneaks it in everywhere. But yeah, you got the characters at the amusement club, which is a club about nothing.
not even a real club.
Yeah. But yeah, you got Kyoko Toshino Kyoko. Yeah, blonde girl who's very flighty, weird. It basically has a very hard time staying focused on anything. Likes to draw manga, and particularly for Miyakurun.
Yep.
Also prone to just having weird ideas, which leads the other character, Yui Funami, to correct her occasionally. But she's much more straight-laced, much more kind of serious, down-to-earth. Easily embarrassed if she does things, quote-unquote, out of character.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Chinatsu Yoshikawa, who is a first year here at these first two were second years. She's a first year who just joined up because she was looking for the tea club because they kind of took over the tea club room. And she wound up joining these weirdos, and she also immediately falls for Yui.
Yep.
Yeah, she's
yeah. Chinatsu looks like the main character from
Miyakurun.
Yeah.
And
which
so Kyoko's enamored with her, but Chinatsu doesn't really like Kyoko that much.
Because Kyoko is just like, also just went kind of crazy about it.
Yeah.
And Yui protected Chinatsu, and that's how that started.
Yeah, Chinatsu is very enamored with Yui, and also she has a tendency to try, when she makes things, it tends to go real bad.
But when she doesn't try, it goes really well.
Weirdly enough, yeah. You also got the student council, which, the vice president, Ayano Sugiura, who loves to announce her presence by shouting Kyoko's name. Full name. Because she's also quite the tsundere and has a crush on Kyoko, and will never admit said thing, occasionally to her best friend, but yeah. Very much tsundere, but also prone to making weird puns, which of course makes Yui laugh, but even though she tries to hide that.
Yep.
And then her best friend, Shisose Ikeda, has frequent fantasies about Ayano and Kyoko.
Yes, she likes to watch.
She has her fantasies, gets nosebleeds, but also she tends to be very quiet and whatnot. Also,
very polite and quiet and somewhat reserved.
Very gentle as well. Kind. Don't give her chocolate. Then there's those two are first years, and you got the first years those two are second years. You got the first years as well, Sakurako Omoro. Bit of an idiot.
Complete airhead. Well, not really airhead, but yeah, just
doesn't really know kanji very well. Prone to just completely misunderstanding situations, and also constantly hungry, and has a best friend, sort of / best enemy named Himawari Furutani, who's they used to be super close, and now they constantly yell and argue at each other, and
so they are still super close.
Yeah, but they're also very tsundere for each other, because then they'll turn around and kind of be weirdly lovey-dovey, but also insist that it means nothing.
Yeah, and those two are childhood friends, next door neighbors,
best enemies.
Yes.
And then you got student council president, who doesn't appear that much because she's really not a main character. Rise Matsumoto, who talks, but no one can hear her except for a teacher.
Yep.
She's just utterly quiet. The one teacher who
Nana Nishigaki,
yeah, who likes to do experiments and blow things up. Doesn't see any problem with that.
No problem at all. I don't see any problem with that.
There's also, of course, a bunch of sporty characters that make pop up here and there, and I think that's it. It's only 7 though. Could have sworn there's an 8. Right, Akari Akaza, the actual main character, supposedly.
Yes.
She's, super nice girl, just a good girl in every way, but she also has literally no presence whatsoever.
Yep.
So what happens is people literally forget she exists, including the comic / anime itself.
Yep. It's a running gag with her.
Because, her name's kind of a bit of a play on the word Akarin, which means more or less to disappear. So, yeah. She's ostensibly the main character, but not really. That's the joke.
That's the joke.
I mean, you would argue that Kyoko really is truly the main character. Even Kyoko herself would argue that, too.
Of course she would. That would be just her character.
But yeah, the whole thing is just the antics of these 8 characters and whatnot, including some occasional more romantic antics as well. That's the thing. It's a lot of fun, honestly. It's really funny overall. And it's a very goofy comedy thing. Yeah, it's just really goofy and doesn't ever really take itself that seriously. Occasionally it does, but not very long when it does. So
yeah, every now and then it'll touch on something a little more It's not really serious. They don't hit like super serious topics, but they do tone it down the humor a little bit for certain subjects and then bring it right back. Just to let you know they're not making fun of something super serious. But yeah, it's good. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's not listed as slice of life, but it kind of plays out slice of life comedy because it's just them and their antics.
Yeah, so that's the thing, and yeah, one of the things that lets you know it's not serious is they literally repeated a storyline more or less and then pointed out like characters constantly having deja vu only for it to because it was there's a second year trip to what was it, Kyoto? I think
something like that.
They went on a trip one time and then the second year's one on a second trip to the exact same place and doing the exact same things, kept remarking about how familiar it all was. Yeah, they did the trip and then they came back and they got a wooden sword as a souvenir and then they come back and there's already a wooden sword. It's like, what?
Yep.
What? Funny enough, actually, way back when I saw a fanfic that used that one little gag as a launching point for a sci-fi mecha story.
All right.
It's like, well, that's quite imaginative, actually.
It's quite imaginative. I mean, you could probably do that in there's enough openings in universe.
A large chunk of it, I think, I'm trying to think, the characters are basically the big thing here, and they're always fun. My favorite's Ayano.
Ayano is great.
Ayano's just my favorite, and she's basically, I have adopted her as my daughter, and I am rooting for her to get her girl.
Ayano is absolutely great. No questions there.
Yeah, I just think that was funny for me personally, because I was like, man, Ayano's the best character. I'm just looking, I'm starting looking stuff up about the anime after I was done watching the first time several years ago now. And I kind of looked up and Ayano apparently shares the same birthday I do.
Oh, wow, really?
I was like, oh, okay,
that works.
That's funny. But yeah, she of course just will go in and loudly enough, Toshino Kyoko!
Every time just slams the door open and just yells for Kyoko.
Yeah, who she has a major crush on.
Yep.
Which is always winds up being funny because, well, she, tries to pretend everything's fine. And then Chitose will call her out on it and then fantasize and then bleed. And then Ayano will maybe this kind of, well, I guess if this can't be helped, I guess I have to.
God,
she is the classic tsundere.
Yeah, there's like two memeable.
She even pulls it. It's not like I made it for you or anything.
Yeah, those are like the two tsundere lines that everyone does.
Yeah.
It's not like I like you, Baka, and I guess it can't be helped. And she does both.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I kind of want to say Kyoko knows. Yeah, like the way Kyoko will act, it's like I think she knows, but doesn't like say that she knows. Yeah. But I kind of feel that the way she acts.
Okay, I guess we're gonna jump into this. The romance angle, the shipping,
the ship dynamics.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Let's get the pin board out.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So okay, we know Ayano has a crush on Kyoko. Chinatsu has a crush on Yui. There is implications that Yui has feelings for Kyoko, but they're very subdued because Yui is a very subdued person in general. Kyoko may have feelings for the two of them as well on top of Chinatsu. She also may or may not have feelings for Chitose's sister, Chizuru. By the way, Chitose and Chizuru are twins.
Yep.
And Chizuru seems to just outright despise Kyoko. Also,
for good reason.
Yeah, Chizuru also has fantasies about Chitose and Ayano.
Yep.
And rather than nosebleed, she drools.
Yep.
Which I guess is better because less chance of dying.
Well, that hasn't stopped Chitose yet.
That's one thing. Chinatsu once kissed Akari, but that was for practice, but people, don't necessarily, pay mind to that part. Sakurako and Himawari pretty much are in love with each other.
And they just won't admit it.
There's some people who theorize that Chitose may actually have feelings for Ayano, but is suppressing them.
Yep. There was that one episode where she was making certain realizations and trying to sleep.
Yeah. You could read into that or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
one of those things you can kind of read out of the way because that doesn't help that Nomori loves to troll the fan base in many ways.
Yep.
People pointed out that Ayano and Yui would actually get along pretty well, actually.
And they only had like one episode really where they spent significant time together, and that was kind of the point, talking about that they haven't.
They would, except the fact they're really awkward around each other because they just don't know what to talk about.
Oh God, that whole episode was just screaming at, because it was just oh no, I'm forcing her to like me. I'm such a horrible person.
Funny thing was, I was recently looking at really old stuff, like old postings from, because YuruYuri came out over a decade ago, right?
Yeah.
And someone posted a picture of Yui and Ayano in a clearly romantic situation, and a lot of the comments were just anger and rage because you don't do that. You don't do that. And then finally, it was a posting of a Yui and Ayano, but it was drawn by Namori herself. And there was a lot of confusion because there's that initial anger, and then wait, this is official.
It's like you can't get upset when that's official artwork.
And then people want Namori will not commit to any one ship, and someone said the true secret of YuruYuri is it's everyone ex everyone.
Yep.
Because if people point out that Kyoko and Sakurako have a good dynamic going.
Oh God, those two,
which is terrifying.
Put both of them in the same room.
There's also things like I've noticed, particularly towards the end, that Yui seems to have a weird fondness for Akari, for example, which is like, you could definitely use that as a launching point.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
Yeah.
Ship dynamics, and I haven't even talked about the secondary characters yet.
Well, okay, what are you defining as secondary?
Anyone outside of those 8.
Outside of the 8, okay, because sometimes you'll say that, Group B is the secondary character.
Depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to, because it's like you have the main 4 quote-unquote main characters, and then the other 4 they hang out with, but it's like they all get the same amount of screen time anyway.
Because, there's definitely a couple, I will say this, a couple jokes that kind of are like a little more uncomfortable than anything.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, thankfully, but there's definitely a couple things which I would definitely flag a bit. I kind of get a bit of a side eye. I think just going through from top of my head, one of them is a couple of Chitose's fantasies get a little
creepy.
I don't want to say creepy, creepy, but a little risque, shall we say. A little
risque.
Including like the one where she imagined she had the fantasy about Ayano and Kyoko being sisters.
Yep.
Although that did lead to one of the best scenes. So I don't know. It's one of those, that's a weird mixed bag of like, this is kind of skeevy. Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, just blood explosion.
In the hallway.
Yeah. There's that. So some of her fantasies get a little on there. There's the whole thing about Himawari's boobs.
Yeah.
Yes, Sakurako's obsessed with them because she hates how they're big, but also is kind of it's jealous.
It's a jealousy thing.
It's jealousy type. It's that complicated emotion simultaneously wanting them herself, and also her attraction to Himawari as well.
Yep.
And Himawari also having a bit of a complex about them. Yeah, because she basically developed early. So that's a thing. That's a frequent. I think it's more frequent in the early seasons. Later stuff, but yeah,
it still pops up every now and then.
There's the teacher and the student council president. The Rise and the teacher Nana. They make a joke about they have a forbidden relationship, but Nana is so not self-aware that the joke is a forbidden relationship that she involves Rise in her experiments, which put a student's life in danger, hence forbidden. Yeah, so that's kind of the joke, but there's also the vague implications they might be a forbidden relationship, but they never actually, nothing ever actually happens, but there are vague implications to make you kind of go, get a bit of a side eye there.
Yeah.
There was the thing with Chinatsu and Akari, where Chinatsu wanted to practice kissing for Yui, so she could be perfect for Yui. And Akari did not want to do that, and Chinatsu would not take no for an answer. And then it kind of came off as a
bit assaulty.
Yeah, because she finally pinned Akari, and then afterwards we see Akari dead-eyed and with a single tear coming out of her eye. It's like,
yeah, that wasn't
the framing
a great
of
scene.
that is a little sketch,
just a little.
And the final one, which is Akane. Wait, who's Akane? You may say. Well, that's Akari's older sister.
Yes.
Her in general, because the first joke is actually, I think, genuinely funny with her. Because we don't actually see her until the second season. But in the first episode, Kyoko and Yui go to Akari's house. Akari screwed up and forgot that she needs to wear a uniform now that she's in middle school. And they go into her house, and Kyoko starts snooping, finds Akane's room, goes inside and finds it covered in pictures of Akari, and there's an Akari body pillow with lipstick all over it, and it's like, oh.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's the way it's framed, it comes across, the joke is it's creepy and disturbing.
Yep.
So it is funny.
Yep.
And then later on, Akane actually starts showing up, and then they still kind of lean into the whole, she's a creepy pervert, but they also start putting a weird veneer of innocence to it as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of starts,
Yeah.
So, don't like that. I mean, it was funny when it was, the joke is she's a creepy pervert, but...
And they're, showing how it's creepy and not good. But, yeah.
That's one definitely thing. She doesn't appear that often, but it does pop up. She does pop up more frequently in the later 2 seasons.
And she never opens her eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. But also, on top of that, the funny thing about their Akane is, Chinatsu also has an older sister who is in love with Akane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we have to make the ship dynamics as complicated as possible.
Tomoko, she is in love with Akane and sometimes is jealous of Akari because of the affection Akane shows for her.
Yep.
Yeah, there's also several family members of these girls, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff there. But yeah, so those are the iffier parts. Other than that, I would say it's largely pretty solid.
Yeah, they're prevalent enough that they need to be mentioned, but I don't think they really drag the whole anime down all that much. No. But they do definitely need to be mentioned and taken note of, because they're not great.
Yeah, they're just. Also, I would say the uniforms are just generally kind of, when you think about it, they're just weird.
Yeah, you caught that too. The whole time I see them, it's just like, what are these uniforms? That was a sticking point for me the whole time looking at them. Normally you get this like sailor inspired top that's usually like a 2-piece top and a skirt underneath. Yep. But no, this is a dress, but the top is like this weird sleeved cloak almost. It has a single button up on the top and it acts almost like a cloak. It's just like, those are weird. They don't look bad, but they're just kind of different and odd.
Yeah. One particular episode I've always liked was the Kamu Ket.
Kamu Ket.
The first one with where Kyoko just more or less just drags unaware Ayano. I would just remember that opening, she goes, the entire time. What?
Not knowing what the heck is going on.
Yeah, and of course the next time they do it, she's expecting a phone call, and she sits by the phone all day, and then
never
phone
gets
call.
it until it's over.
Yui tells Kyoko to leave her alone today.
Yeah, and then finally gets a phone call. Hey, can you come pick me up from Comic Cat?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There was a few standout episodes. I mean, we had 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, because my memory is absolutely garbage. I'm only remembering some of them at the moment. One of them that I do remember stood out. It was in season 3. The entire opening, it was just following the president.
Oh yeah.
There's no talking at all.
No sound effects.
But it was actually kind of wholesome too. It was just kind of neat. Nice.
Yeah, it was neat. Another one that stands out for me is when we get the flashback with Sakurako and Himawari when they're little and they're filling out the marriage registration form and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't remember it all.
Nope. I don't remember it at all. And then there's that one that, was in all English and...
Yeah, the opening of the OVA, that was one of the best ones.
That was
as well.
just, what the heck?
Yeah, entire poorly spoken English, all of a sudden a very JoJo-esque art style and everything, and guns and like as a opening is supposed to be an opening of a American action movie.
Yep.
Speaking of it, there was an actual blatant JoJo reference at one point on one of the OVAs. Kyoko, when she put on her tomato pajamas, she does a JoJo pose.
Of course. Oh, that was another thing. Every now and then we get snippets of this other in-universe anime, Mirakurun.
Yeah, Mirakurun, yep. Which is
they
just
get brutal. Holy crap.
I've actually seen an actual anime that's like that.
Oh.
I need it. What was it? I need to remember the name, but I need to show you.
Oh,
but
man.
it was very much brutal. Like the main character literally regularly killed her supporting character on a regular basis.
So I'm just remembering
resurrected him.
Yeah, well, I'm just remembering the one where it takes a hammer and literally just smashes in the other one, the Ganbo, whatever his name was. It smashes his head and there's blood. It's like, holy crap.
Yep.
For kids.
Ganbo is literally the only character with a male voice.
Yeah, it is only
the only male in the entire thing.
Well, didn't one of their dads show up in like one scene but never showed his face? I think there was like one scene where one of the characters' dads was like in the background and that was it.
Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise they're all girls and they're all gay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and the funny thing about Mirakuru, of course, is it's just a weird thing of like, oh, the hero and the villain are actually best friends. They don't know that the other.
Yep. Although,
which is one of those things. Is like, no, now I want to know more about this.
Although the dynamic between those two is when they're not, in their superhero whatever form, their transformed forms is odd.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. It's really cool.
Also, the time travel episode.
Oh yeah, the time travel episode.
Which then turned out to be just Kyoko's story.
Yeah.
And then Akari getting mad because she wasn't even... In the end, it was like... What was it? Is it something happened in the end? Just Akari always getting mad about stuff because everything just constantly turns into Akari has no presence.
Yep. Yep. Although I did have that little bit at the end of the story because she forgot to adjust for the week.
Yep.
So she's been gone for a week in normal time and everyone was freaking out about her. So it's like, aw, they do care.
They do care, yeah.
They do care because that was her word. It's like, no one's going to know I was gone. Like, nope.
It's one of those weird things. But it's like, is it the joke? Well, even though there's a joke that, and she has no presence, it's pretty clear everyone does actually care about her.
Everyone knows about her, and yes, they would notice if she disappeared.
Yeah. For real.
For real.
Although there's like the jokes that they always have the opening thing with Akari supposed to introduce the show, and then stuff happens.
Stuff always happens, and then they cut her introduction off.
That was like the first few seasons. Season 3 dropped that, I noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the little jokes, and sometimes, oh no, wait, why am I here? Oh no, don't tell me. Then they Akarin as well. Or the season 2 one was the opener, which is the huge Akari on a stage, and everyone free. That one is like, what was the other thing? Oh, something I'm surprised I haven't seen more of, which is like, the whole love triangle between Yui, Kyoko, and Ayano. Easy to solve, guys. Why aren't you doing it? I'm surprised, like the lack of that. Just solve that. It's
just
easy.
All three.
We know Yui and Ayano get along just fine.
Yep. If they, were to, spend time and
get over that initial hurdle.
Yeah, because that whole episode is just...
It's not just one episode. It's
well, I know, but I'm remembering that the last one in season 3 where they're spending that time in the locker room.
5 minutes?
Yeah, but it was just the whole... they're making each other laugh, but they keep like, oh, they're just faking it.
Yeah, they just are
and
overthinking it.
And I'm a horrible person because it's just...
Yeah, they keep overthinking everything in this. It's
it reminds me of that one saying. It's like, you always think no one likes you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, we like you. Oh, I'm a horrible person because I tricked them now. It's like, I tricked them. That's what it felt like. It's just both of them going back and forth.
Oh, the other thing is, actually, Yui lives alone. Because there's this big just family situation that benefits her, I guess, because the family member is a landlord, and
yeah.
So she lives alone, and Kyoko likes to come over a lot.
Yep, and just shows up
and just kind of freeloads.
Yep, because that's Kyoko.
And Yui likes to play games, and the thing she likes to do the whole grind until she's over leveled and just breeze through. Versus Kyoko likes to level up just enough to actually beat them, but also there's a risk of losing.
Yep. Kyoko's an interesting character, really. Also, when we get flashbacks between Yui, Kyoko, and Akari, we notice that they've changed personalities. At least Akari and Kyoko definitely have.
Yui did too. Yui used to be more of a tomboy. She kind of isn't so much in by the time you get to the middle school.
Yeah, although she's kind of mellowed out entirely. She's just, But Kyoko was more of a crybaby, and Akari was very much more confident and
it's weird because it's almost like Kyoko was the young one.
Yeah.
There's kind of the whole thing, and then there's that one time they actually did meet Shinatsu before, just to know it's Shinatsu,
and they don't fully.
But Akari figured it out and decided to keep her mouth shut.
Because she knows better than to bring that up.
Yeah, because Chinatsu can be scary.
Yes, Chinatsu can be very scary.
Also, what can be scary are hair puffs.
We don't talk about those.
Something goes in there, they never come. Well, they do come out.
They do come out eventually.
It's just funny. I just love the gag. Like they showed all those ping pong ball, like 20 ping pong balls coming out of her hair puffs. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, the other part of that gag is that anytime something hits it, especially the ping pong balls, they get the screaming as the hair just kind of grabs it and absorbs it. And
it's like, okay.
It's the same sound
everyone
effect.
Else is like, eh.
Yeah. Oh, and that leads to another part. The visual gags that happen, like that where the pulls it in, or when someone goes invisible, they get dotted lines, or the nose bleeds, or things like that. A lot of the time in animation, stuff like that, usually those visual gags are for the benefit of the viewer, and in canon, they don't see them. Not here.
Yeah, this anime is not serious. It's just like the manga is not serious. The manga is also played with, I think they had to do some adaptation adjustments, but I remember the manga also playing with the format of being a manga to make some jokes as well.
Yep, there's like almost no sense of a fourth wall here. It's just completely shattered.
Yeah.
But yeah, they make jokes about, if you go invisible, just make sure you have a dotted line. Your dotted line. It's kind of thing. They've referenced that. It's great. And yeah, the nosebleeds are, everyone sees the nosebleeds.
Yep.
Especially that one when Chitose got chocolate.
Yep.
And they had to stop her.
Yeah, because she was kissing everyone.
So you have to distract her.
Yep. And how to distract her? Have Ayano kiss Kyoko.
Yep.
That did it. She died.
And that was so much blood.
Yeah. Oh, this is one thing I was told once, and I'm not sure if it's true, but I was told that with the shipping dynamic that Yui and Kyoko tends to be more popular in Japan, whereas Ayano and Kyoko tends to be more popular in the West. And the theory would be because it's the opposite of what they usually get.
Yeah, I guess, and
because you and Kyoko are childhood friends, so you don't get that very often in anime. So, Whereas in Western media, childhood friend almost always wins in the end, so to speak, if there's a love triangle.
Yeah, that was a point that I was gonna bring up because it's a tough one. Because for me, I tend to root for the childhood friend, but here I'm struggling because like Ayano Kyoko. Yeah. Is a great ship too.
So I'm just like, just
all
eliminate the problem.
Well, of course, there's the other ones. Like, well, I already have the childhood friend option with the other two, Himawari and Sakurako. Yep. Those two childhood friends can get together. So that checked out off the list. Now we have other options.
Yeah. There's also. So do you actually like Ayano, or do you like Ayano because of?
I haven't brought this up yet, but okay. So I did mention this in the last episode. I was looking forward to this one thing. So Ayano is voiced by a particular person, Saki Fujita, who is the vocal provider for Hatsune Miku. So yeah, there was some going into this like, okay, so I know this is tangentially connected to something else I like, but no, Ayano is a great character regardless. And while I guess you can sometimes hear the similarities between Miku and Ayano,
there's that one episode where they did the karaoke. You kind of hear it.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it. They are still different voices because voice actors have different voices that they can use. Some do,
not all,
but it's not uncommon that voice actors can have
like a library of voices.
A library of voices to work with. You tend to get more voice actors who have a library than live actors who try to do voice acting afterwards. So, but yeah, you do hear it every now and then, but it's not like it wasn't like Ayano showed up and just sounded like exactly like Hatsune Miku.
That'd be funny though.
But no, Ayano ended up being a character that I really liked. Regardless, she's just a great character.
Yeah.
Tsundere, redhead, just everything about she's just a great character. But yes, there was something I was going to say and I got sidetracked when I'm talking about back to Kyoko. She acts like she's not the smartest, but then surprises everyone when she ends up being a lot smarter than she acts.
Yeah, a lot of people almost see her as almost a lazy genius.
Yeah, and I mean that was sort of a thing in the first in the first season, the rivalry between Kyoko and Ayano was so ticked that Kyoko was always ahead of her in grades. She was always atop the grades, and it's like, oh, she just studies the night before, and that's it. And then one time, Ayano tries to beat her kids, and
Kyoko didn't try.
Kyoko just completely failed out because didn't even do it at all.
Yeah,
because she was busy with something else.
Yeah. Although that's one of the things. I think one theory was going around is Kyoko, well aware of Ayano and possibly even Yui's feelings, and won't react. Isn't acting on them because the two-parter is because she kind of doesn't know who to choose, and also she's lazy and she's waiting for one of them to make a move first.
Yeah, or there's so many different ways you can take that because like
I've seen that.
She kind of it's her playfulness with, I guess, sort of romance, not really romance, whatever her take on romance is, because, yeah, she kind of throws it towards a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
She's rather open about that. I wonder if she's poly.
She's probably mostly flirty.
Yeah, she's a very flirty person, but yeah, the whole... I want to say that she knows a lot more than she lets on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's part of her personality type. She's super flighty, but she knows. She sees things, she knows. And when push comes to shove, she does the right thing. Like, we see it a lot of the times. She's actually really good at planning things.
Yeah.
To everyone's surprise. She continuously surprises them. It's like, oh, this actually went really well. Or
she does when she cares.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. Or there's the one thing where they're helping shovel snow at Katie, which is,
Yui's a
relative.
They don't really specify.
They don't specify. And then everyone goes in because they're too cold, but she goes out later and builds the snow hut for Katie by herself, secretly. So she's got it where it counts, and she doesn't.
Marie.
Yeah.
Marie's the.
Yeah, Marie, not Katie.
Katie's the
Himawari's
other one's younger sister.
The younger sister of Himawari, right?
Yeah.
So Kyoko's an interesting character in that regards, and that she's more than she lets on.
Yeah. Actually, going back to voice actors, and this is a funny one, was Himawari's voiced by Suzuko Momori, who is the voice of Umi Sonoda in Love Live. Once again, playing the responsible blue-haired one who has to take care of an idiot.
Yep. Yep.
Which is, that was just funny. And also, some of the other voice actors, it's actually, I was looking at out of curiosity, like, you see the names, like, oh, that's what they've done, they were in that, as that person, okay. Like, recently, Kyoko's voice actress was in Girls Frontline.
Oh.
I believe Yui, where was it? I saw something, actually, it was like, I knew we've both seen, but a certain scientist, Railgun, but I was this minor character, but there's another thing in there. Where was it?
Oh, hey. Minami Tsuda.
Oh, Sakugan.
Sakugan.
Yeah, Yui's voice actor plays the girl in Sakugan. The main girl. Sakuro's voice, Imari, plays Kyubei in Madoka Magica, which is...
Oh, my.
Yeah. And also, Sakuro's older sister, Nadeshiko, voiced Homura in Madoka Magica, so of course they're antagonistic towards each other.
Yep. That makes so much sense.
There's actually several Madoka Magica VAs here.
Yeah, I just noticed Yui's voice actor, Minami, also plays a character in Shinkansen, which I believe is the one
That's the train.
Yeah, but the one that Hatsune Miku actually shows up when later on with, Saki Fujita voicing her as expected. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
What else is she done?
The other funny thing is, I found funny, is Himawari's younger sister, Kaide, is voiced by Uchida, who's a Kotori in Love Live.
Yep. So basically, these voice actors just show up in a lot of other well-known, popular, which is not uncommon. I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah, several. Of course, Ayano, of course, was Hatsune, but also in several other things.
Yes.
Lots of other things.
Yeah, Saki's a pretty popular voice actor just in her own right.
Yep.
So, oh boy. Oh, hey, Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, Tokyo Revengers.
That one.
Yeah, so you got a lot of
Capture Sakura.
Oh right, the voice actress for Marie, that Yui's relative, Katarina in My Next Life as a Villainess.
Oh, nice.
Also Norman in The Promised Neverland, which that's the one we will really praise that first season and never touch the second one because we heard horrible things about that.
Yeah, I've heard not great things. Not great things.
Oh right, yeah, the Akane was voiced by YuruYuri, who is she's also in Konosuba.
Yep.
And Toradora and Higurashi.
When they cry. Yep. Popular voice actors be popular. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's one. Yeah, Sakuriko's younger sister, voiced by Rina Hidaka, she also voiced Last Order in Railgun.
Misaka.
Yep. Misaka. So, lots of big names on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, so overall recommend checking it out if you haven't. I mean,
yeah, it's been out for a while.
It's been out for over a decade, most of it anyway. If you haven't checked it out for whatever reason, you should.
It's even
funny.
Even in spite of its parts that are not great, it's still really good
sometimes, but for the most part, overall pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Although I was remember the one where Himawari finally could not do that one thing for gym class, and finally could when Sakuriko got on her nerves.
The
whipped
bar.
around and kicked her in the stomach.
Spite and anger are the best motivators.
Yeah, it's always. But yeah, overall very much fun. I also actually would say I would actually recommend reading the manga if you could as well. I've checked it out after I saw it, and there's definitely a lot more in the manga now because it's been running for so long.
Yeah.
Manga's real long, and it's because the nice thing about it is there's no real big story, so you can jump in whenever and be fine, or you can read from the beginning and be fine too. Because they did a pretty good adaptation overall. I remember it's a lot of the same stuff, some adjustments here and there, but largely the same. Pretty good adaptation overall.
Yep. It's good.
Very fun.
Go watch lesbians.
Go watch lesbians be completely useless around each other.
But still relatively wholesome. So.
Yeah, relatively.
Relatively.
There's occasionally.
Like you said, with some sketch parts.
Yeah, but I guess that would be it for this one.
Yep.
I almost forgot to mention just real quick, there are spin-offs as well. There's spin-off manga. There are no spin-off anime, but there are some spin-off manga. I believe one of them actually...
like an isekai. There's a side story.
Yeah.
There's a side story. Adaptations. Let's see. There's the isekai. There's a Reset is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, there was the Omuro sisters. Yeah. Sakuriko, Nadeshiko, and Hanako. Or there's that one.
Yep. There's a lot of content to go through if you want.
And that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can check out other episodes on newtoweeboo.libsyn.com, spelled LABSYN, if you want to check that out and subscribe via the RSS feed there, or you can subscribe via other services, include Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Podcasts. You can search for New to Weeaboo on any of those to subscribe or whatever. There's also buttons at the top for most of those except for Amazon. So yeah, that's if you want to subscribe for whatever reason.
For what? Because you want to listen to us, that's why.
Sure. There's also, you can contact us via email, newtoweeboo@gmail.com, if you have questions or comments or criticism or recommendations for anime.
Yep.
Those are a good way, or you could, I guess, leave a comment on the episode if you want to do that way too. There's also our Twitter, @newtoweeaboo, and you can follow us there and retweet and all that stuff if you'd like. There's also personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alcatraz77T and an underscore at the end. I mostly have been tweeting lots of Transformer review stuff because getting in the swing of that again. Finally did, got stuff done that I've been meaning to do for a while. Very happy with that. Funny enough, a lot of the delays on that was because watching anime. Or doing anime podcast stuff.
I can't do toy reviews because I'm busy watching anime.
Or I'm busy talking about anime or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, that's it for this one. Tune in next time. We'll be talking about something different.
Yeah.
A little bit different. Still in this theme, but also
A different take on it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah.
Two, actually. We'll have two things we're talking about. It's
double feature.
Double feature. Very much interesting because very contrasting way of doing things from each other. They're very different, yet also similar in one particular way.
The same but different.
So yeah, well, I won't actually say what they are quite yet, but definitely we'll see how that works out.
Yep. We shall.
Hope to see you then. Hope you all take care of yourselves and whatnot, and we'll see ya.
See ya.
Goodbye.